Have you ever seen a roo kick? Have you ever seen an emu run under the bright Aussie skies and said this year we'll be the one? Oi, oi, oi! What does it mean to be a part of a footy team? It's more than a game. The footy's in our veins. It's time to go. It's the Northern Footy Show. Get out of our way. We wanna see them play.
G'day everyone, welcome to the Sunday wrap-up, the Northern Footy Show with me and my compadre, whatever you want to call him, the Italian stallion, I think he's been referred to by nobody, Matty Bonadeo. Bonners, welcome to the Sunday Footy Show, mate. What a huge weekend of footy, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a big weekend. Good for your Blue Boys today. Going to drop out of the finals, which is always nice to bring up early because I know how angry it gets you for the rest of the show.
I went today, Bonners. Mate, I did the unforgivable. I left before the final siren.
That's
sacrilegious. Vossi, if you're watching this, Vossi, learn some defence, son. Learn some. Yeah. We got pumped. It was hard to watch. It reminds me of 10 years ago, Carlton, but don't fire me up. Let's get on with the locals.
Let's stick to the locals. Yeah, no, it was an interesting weekend. It's definitely you get to the end of the season and you'll rue little things. I reckon the teams that just miss out, and we'll go through them shortly. But they'll rue chances, and the whole season has been about chances. It's been so close, and if you haven't taken your chances, very simply, that's what's going to put you on your backside.
Yeah, and that's what's happened on the weekend. Like I was saying last night to a couple of the guys after the footy that this year has been so close. Bundoora, I was speaking about Bundoora, but Bundoora beat West Preston, lost to West Preston, lost to Banyule, then beat Banyule, beat Montmorency, lost to Montmorency, and they're third last on the ladder.
Yep.
So if you're talking about how even it is, other than Heidelberg at that level, amazing. But then you look at Northcote Park, you go down to Divi 2. Northcote Park came back from absolutely nowhere, just like, where do these guys pull this from? And everyone's beatable on the day. And then we've seen the only other remaining undefeated side get rolled on the weekend and a nail biter to Diamond Creek, which, was amazing. And Moona come out and went bang, bang. And there's plenty of comments for you, Bonners. I've got a lot of people that have sent me some information about you and Mernda. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But, Mernda came out and made the statement of all statements that should have, the others thinking that this is, they finally got their right side on the park at the right time of year. But Heidelberg also came out, and we'll talk about them. And, mate, I don't know what happens there. If they're not $1, and even then someone's stupid enough to give you $1, it'll be amazing. Now, Bonners, do you want to start with fun or do you want to end with fun? Because the lookalikes have
always end with fun.
Okay, well, we're going to end with fun now. I want to quickly talk to you about this. This was sent through to me earlier today, and I want to talk about these kids. I hope everyone can see this. This is the ACC Team of the Year, which is the Associated Catholic College. Now, there's a few boys from the NFNL that are in here and listed. Jordan Gillard, Bundy last year. He's been in the night system for a while. His brother's a star as well. But Jordan Gillard out there on the wing, fantastic, and he's a superstar at Montmorency. Riley Oromont, I was just texting him before. His dad was a gun. He's the son of a gun. Riley's a gun, and well done. And Christian Lawson, both of those boys played at Banyule this year, seniors at Banyule. So well done there. And parade to get those boys all in there. Christian Lawson, I think I mentioned his name, but all of those boys get in, and what a great reward for these kids, because Honours, if they don't go to the next level, and absolutely we hope they do, they are the future stars of this league.
which I think is fantastic. And it's good that they started doing that. As you know, I'm an old ACC parade boy as well. So to do that team a year, it's great recognition. It does get, it should be looked at the way it is. And that's a high level football. In, the ACC, you've got your St. Bede's, St. Bernard's, De La Salle Parade. These are decent football sides that have produced amazing football stars for AFL. Danny Harford from Parade, can go through those ones. But yeah, it'd be great recognition. But as we've gone through for this whole year, these kids have another place to go for their stepping stone. So we hope they go to greatness. It may not be a direct route, but local football has created a situation where the openings are for so long now. It's good recognition.
Parade have 5 kids in that side. What a testament to your old hunting ground and schools, Bonners.
And to Ricky Dyson, coaching them. They're off to the Herald Sun Shield, I think now. They've got all the winners go into the Herald Sun Shield, trying to go back to back. They've got a really great program under Ricky Dyson down there. Benny Shelton, I think, is helping out as well. So it's good to see footy back at Parade dominating.
I'm not sure if I mentioned Lincoln Coffee first there. Or
Lincoln was the other one,
Yeah, so Lincoln was fantastic. Lincoln's a baby. He's 16. He won't like me calling him a baby, but he's playing senior football. To us, he's a baby. 16 years old, dominating in Division 3. I'd love to see Lincoln at 16, if he's playing so well. I'd love to see him go to a higher level. Fletch will probably send me some hate messages for that in a minute, but I'd love to see him getting a crack at higher level against better players. I think he's more than capable. And I watched young Jordan Gillard last year at Bundoora. He's a bit of a freak as well. So, good on him. And as I said, Riley and Christian have both taken their chances this year. They're committed pretty heavy with the Knights program as well, Coach League. So good on them. Anyway, well done, boys. Now, moving forward, any questions, send them in. Won't be long until my little toothless tiger mate jumps on here, Westy, and we'll have something to say about something. But, until then, I'm sure it'll be thrilling, Bonners. Thrilling what he's got.
Westy hasn't been toothless for 4 years.
He's always going to be toothless to me. That's the love we have. All right, let's go straight into Division 3. We've been talking about trying to keep the Sunday wrap under 40 minutes, and we're getting to the right end of the season where it matters the most, Bonners. Let me walk you through some of these results. We'll start with Kilmore Fitzroy Stars, your little favourite side, Fitzroy Stars. You've got a picture of the Proctors up in your garage. I know that. So Fitzroy came out and went bang 81-45 against Kilmore. Pretty much, I think we insinuated 30-50, and that's where they came in that zone there.
Yeah, before we go on that, let's just give a cheerio out to the Kilmore Reserves for an amazing season, 16-0. That was we put on the website. But when you're looking at the future, you can't look much further than that. An unbeaten to reserve side means there's some great depth there. Maybe just need to top up a few more, as the results may show. They're just probably a little bit off the pace. But I don't think it'll take much to get them up there, especially with their reserves are winning so consistently.
100% spot on there. Good call. So Fitzroy, minor premiers, Bonners, as expected from you. You've been a big fan of them. Kilmore will probably one of those sides that will rue the season that was, maybe dropping that game to Layla early in the year didn't help, and a couple of others, but it happens. That's footy. You learn from it. You come back next year, and they've been re-signing players, Kilmore, but Fitzroy Stars go in, clearly favourite to win the flag, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get, I'm sure I'll get a cop from the Mernda boys, but I've never kind of jumped off the Fitzroy Stars. We saw them pre-season. We saw the quality. But you just look in the engine room, and for me, it's the two best on-ballers in third division. You got Kane Proctor and Jai Burns. I mean, they're just damaging footballers. Add all the rest, their forward line's functioning. They've got an amazing back line. The way they rebound, they're just hard at it. Jacko's got him purring up there as well. So, and I think even Jacko's got back on the park. So I think he's starting to feel it. But this is where the business end, all this year has done is giving you the right to play finals. And that's what the home and away season does. It doesn't guarantee you anything, but it definitely gives you the right to play in finals and play for a premiership.
Agree. Well done, Fitzroy Stars on minor premiership. I seen a post of theirs yesterday where they said celebration over, let's get on with the job. And that's a good mentality.
Which is exactly the way it should be.
Now, Epping came out and gave Laylaw a hiding of all hidings, 155 to 24. Don't have to focus too much on Laylaw for this conversation, but Epping's huge margins allowed them to sneak in to finals. I'm just going to throw the ladder up here. They snuck in and knocked Ivanhoe out of the finals race. Ivanhoe were on target to finish third on Friday night. So, 2 days of footy makes a big difference. But they've come out and they've won by 131 points, snuck into fifth place. And I'm not sure if you've seen it, Bonners, but Peter Dawson was seen down High Street, Epping, doing a bit of a hula hoop dance in the middle of the road in the middle of the night. Peter's features twice tonight. We'll speak about him later.
Yeah, no, look, and they've done what they need to do. They had to throw everything they could to get into finals, and Mernda did them a big favour when they've, come out and gone whack themselves. But to win by 120 points gave them every opportunity. Now they get the right to finish fifth. And I tell you, there's few teams that you want to be playing, but I tell you what, Epping's one that you just wouldn't want to be playing coming in the first week of finals, that's for sure.
They're another side that have their best side on the park now at the right time of the year. Laylaw, a better season than last, some improvement, so well done, but we'll talk about that later another night, maybe on Wednesday, and maybe try and get Lance and Shane in. Mernda, 14-12-96, sent Ivanhoe packing, 5-9-39. Well done, Ivanhoe, on the first year in the NFNL. I think you did a fantastic job. Could have finished third, but looking back, you'll get a lot from it. We've seen a lot of stats and everything. Wayne Schultz has just been amazing this year, and I know they've got a lot of stars, but his leadership is, for me, been the difference for them. And Mernda come out, and I tipped them pre-season. I'm staying with them. I think they are still the side to beat. I understand that Mernda's favourite, but I've said all the way through, Bonners, that I think a fully fit Mernda is a better side. So it's going to come down to the end of the year, and we'll see what it is. What's your quick
on that, though? Let's just have a quick look at the ladder again, though, because when you look at what they've missed and how they've missed, they haven't missed by 4 games or 5 games. They've missed by percentage. And if you look from second all the way through to 6, I mean, there's 2 games and a bit of percentage. I mean, from sitting fourth, it's percentage. From sitting, third is percentage and an extra game. So, these guys have done an amazing job coming across from what do you call it, the VAFA. They're a massively professional group. We loved being down there, and hope to get down there again. What Pete and Schultz got down there, they've really started to come across. They know what's expected now, and they'll go out, do their recruiting, and live to fight another day.
Yeah, no, and good on them. But Mernda shape up. We'll talk about Mernda a bit more, I'm sure, as we start talking about the finals. Reservoir finished their season very respectively for me, Bonners. They 10-7-67. They went down to King Lake, and King Lake have got their stuff together at the end of the season. 16-15, 111. Both have re-signed their coach in the last week and a half. Fantastic work. Both won't play finals, but for me, a tick for Reservoir, big tick for Reservoir for where they come from, thanks to Rowan Davies and crew. And King Lake just unfortunately got their act together a little bit late. But, it's been one of those seasons where it's been the toughest Division 3 I've ever seen in my life. And as Paul Antonello has just put up here, Division 3 was the group of death. It really was. You can hold your head high missing finals. Yes, that's true. Now, Jeff Arnold makes a really good point. The uneven draw means I'd only take so much from the ladder. It's so hard to get it right. I mean, this is a topic forever. The cards are. And I know some sides only played Laylaw and Reservoir once, and it is what it is. That's just how it goes. But you're right, Jeff. It's funny. All these years of footy, and even the AFL haven't got it right yet. So they're probably not going to get it. I'm not sure what is right unless you have a longer season or however it works. But anyway, Bonners, I give both of those sides a tick for the year.
Yeah, look, and I want to give a big shout out to all the clubs who are re-signing coaches right now. I think I said this too for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and you can't start your next year until you know who's in charge. And then you need to throw your support about them, go about your recruiting. I think it's fantastic, and I think it's great that these clubs haven't had the greatest years, but they've backed in their coaches, given them the chance to really build up. So kudos to them. I think both have got a tick. I mean, it's, as you said, that And as Jeff said as well, I mean, they could have played, Whittlesea twice. They could have played South Morang twice. They could have got the stiff end of the draw. So for me, it's pretty much a tick for most of Division 3, to be honest. It'd be hard to pick a team and say, look, you were putrid. You should have done a lot more. I think that the way the ladder was, you could have thrown a blanket, over 6 or 7 teams. And then after that, it's the teams that just have to try and find a way to get to that next level. And, if you're going to be critical, maybe Heidelberg West probably could have won a few more games, but it'd be super critical to have a go at anyone in Division 3, in my opinion.
Let's move ahead because Heidelberg West had the bye, which leaves our last side. We spoke earlier in the week, and I said, could Eltham Collegians knock off Old Paradians? Their only way of playing finals is to do it. And they said, shut your mouth, Daz. Watch how it's done, and came out and went 13-8-86 to Old Paradians 10-5-65. No Sam Gilmore, but have a look as a result of this. What happens? Old Eltham looked like missing, finished 4th. With a really good percentage of 139. And I think they will take on Mernda in the first week of finals. That isn't confirmed yet, but that seems to be the way that one will go. And if you recall back at the start of the year, at Old Eltham, they came back from Mernda and got a win in round 1. So that's going to be a fantastic round. I agree with you. Heidelberg West is probably the only one that didn't live up to expectations, but we're going to give them a pass, or I'm certainly going to give them a pass because it was a bloody tough year. They played a lot of kids, and that club will be much better for that next year. So huge final series, Bonners. I want you to tell me your winner of the grand final now. No more sitting on the fence. George Yankos has said, you sit on the fence. Sat on the fence. He said non-stop. You reckon you've got a sore butt from sitting on the fence that long?
It's not really too many fences would probably take me for that long anyway. So, I thought it was – I was going to say the same with Westy. I'm pretty sure that it'll be
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Well done, Westy. Thank you for that.
Yeah, because one's a qualifying final, one's an elimination. So the winner of 2-3 plays in the second semi, and the loser plays the winner of 4-5 in the first semi.
Is that the first time he made sense all year? Is that the first time Westy's actually?
I think you should actually hang up now. Westy's picked up something you've got wrong. So that's when you know you're struggling on a Sunday night, when Westy picks something up. Yeah, no, for me, Fitzroy Stars, I'm still sticking by Jacko. I think a full side Mernda will be amazing, but the firepower and what I've seen of the Fitzroy Stars, and I reckon they've primed themselves for this year. And it'll be all guns blazing. So, but geez, wouldn't it be? For me, it is a Mernda Fitzroy Stars granny.
But you're back on Mernda. You're back on her, yeah?
No. I said they wouldn't. I've never said that they couldn't get to the granny. I've just said that I believe Fitzroy Stars is going to win. So everyone likes to turn my words around, but I've never said that Mernda are no good. I've just said
I wouldn't do that to your Bonners.
Yeah, absolutely, you would. But
I'm still picking Mernda. I still think Mernda get it done. I think it's going to be a ripper grand final.
Like a fully fit with Gilmore and Old Paradians, we can't discount them either. So I think you'll find it in the top 3 is going to be your grand finalists.
Yep, I think it's been, and that's not discounting the other sides that are in it as
well. No, not at all.
Old Eltham's good enough. Old Paradians are good enough. I mean, anyone can win this on the day. And Epping, who knows? Epping get it together.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've got a fantastic coach there. So Brad might just have the secret of all secrets to bounce back up to second division as well. One thing you can rest assured, it's going to be a fantastic grand final. I honestly think between $1 and $2 separates a lot of them on the odds. But let's move forward. Let's talk Divi 2 quickly. We've got a bit to get through tonight as well with these very good lookalikes. Very, very good, Bonners. All right, Watsonia, Lower Plenty, no shock there. Watsonia went down 5-8-38 versus Lower Plenty, who have had a stellar second half of the season. Probably a good season across the board so far, 11-10-76. We'll have a look at their ladder as well, Bonners, because Lower Plenty still in the finals hunt right there. 2 points clear now in 5th with an okay percentage. But one thing that they haven't done this year, Lower, they just don't get pumped. They're thereabouts and they're doing all the right things to get to finals. I did have them, so put my hand up when I'm wrong. I had them to be relegated. at the start of the season. So what we've learnt this year is I know nothing about football, but overall, good on Lowell plenty. I'm stoked for him. I'm really pumped for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you, the game's coming up this weekend. You could not think of a better way to finish Divi 2 this weekend. There's everything on the line. You got Lowell plenty trying to win to get in. St Mary's have got Thomastown, I think, this weekend. They've got to win that. Lower have to come out and smack a team and basically put themselves in the contest. You've got Watsy Lorimer for the relegation. Top end, you've still got to, jostle for positions. So it's just, 100%. Like the minor premiership's still not 100% done. I think there's 4 points, isn't there, between 1 and 2?
Yeah, well, so just to have a look at that ladder there, I think it's
and look at Diamond Creek's percentage. So, one hiccup for Whittlesey, suddenly Diamond Creek get the week off. So,
it's going to be pretty
weekend.
important. And what's only obviously after parting ways with their coach, that's probably about the result. Sometimes it happens the opposite way, but I think that battle. We'll talk about that battle in the final match there. Thomastown continue to get their season back on track there. 13-11-89 beat very defiant Panton Hill 13-7 85. Score maybe a bit flattering. Thomastown could have got that done by 2 or 3 goals a little bit earlier, but they got up by 4 points. They had to hold on, and as we said there, Thomastown just sitting where are they, 6th, so they're only 2 points off 5th, making finals.
Another one. They could take the Mary's spot. So there's still so much to play out.
South Morang, exactly what I thought would happen with Northcote Park. Northcote Park's had a great season, but South Morang 15-15-105, and Northcote Park 9-12-66. Respectable from Northcote Park against an outfit like that. Have a look where they are on the ladder. 7th versus 3rd. I think they were sitting 2nd maybe at that stage, but that's a really respectable result for Northcote Park, and well done to them. I give them a massive tick for the year, because where they came from to where they had to get to, not being able to field a reserve side at one stage, and have come out and missed out on finals by not all that much really, 20 points, 10 points. They're out of the finals by 10 points, And
I think it's a tale of two halves, isn't it? The first half they just couldn't cop a break. They couldn't get a team on there for the reserves in. Second half of the year, suddenly, still a few injuries in the second half of the year, but much more competitive and more like the Northcote Park that we actually know.
Yep,
re-signed coach as well.
Yes, they did, didn't they? They re-signed the coach this week, which is fantastic. Fantastic news. We posted that earlier in the week. And that's great. No news yet on what's happening at South Morang, but I couldn't imagine Gary Hall going anywhere with what he's doing with the boys, unless he might already have a couple of year contracts. St Mary's v Lorimer, Jeepers. I was following it on the footy when I was at Bundoora, but Lorimer got jumped, and I reckon Jimmy will look at that and say, we got jumped, boys, and let's not learn that lesson the hard way next week. St Mary's went 11-13-79 to Lorimer's 10-4-64, so 14 scoring shots to 24. So the result is right. St Mary's want to get your biggest hatred, or your second biggest hatred, of kicking straighter. There, you can't be doing that going into a finals campaign. Get it out the way now and get on with it. St Mary's looks set to play finals. I mean, they can pop out, but I think
absolutely they've got Tomo next week, so. Not a foregone conclusion at all.
No, not at all. But let's quickly talk about the Lorimer Watsonia battle next week. So it's a premiership, Bonners. It's that simple. Them Watsonia, whoever wins stays up. Whoever doesn't is going to play Division 3 next year.
Unless there's a draw and Lorimer stay up anyway.
Yes, that's a very good point. Do you want to have 20 cents on the draw? That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Mate, they play right. Jeez.
I didn't think of that. Now, the last game there, I'll ask you on that who you think wins the Lorimer Watsy one in one sec, but I just want to talk about what was match of the round for us. I did a preview on this on the Friday, a quick preview, which we're going to do throughout the final series. Diamond Creek came out and went 6-13-49 to Whittlesey's 6-4-40. I said in my preview the other day, this game could go anywhere. Whoever kicked straighter would win the game. Well, that was a crock of shit from me, because they both kicked. And as we've established, I know nothing. But good on Diamond Creek. It's probably Gary Ramsey won't love this. It might have been the little slap on the back of the head Whittlesey needed just before finals, and I'm sure he's happier to lose that one than come first week of the finals, Matty.
Yeah, I think you see the same Heidelberg a couple of weeks ago. I don't think it's a devastating loss. I think sometimes it's a reset. Understand you've got things to fix up. I think it's a massive pat on the back for Diamond Creek. I think they're still into it up to their eyeballs. I mean, they're sitting second on the ladder. So we keep talking about, the South Morang and the Whittleseys winning premierships, but I think Diamond Creek's got a hell of a lot to say about it with Andrew Tranquilli and the boys. I think I just think it's fantastic to see, Diamond Creek really up there pushing again.
I was trying to picture how our Diamond Creek's own Eddie Maguire, Sean Fitzpatrick, was. He must have been jumping out of his skin the other day after that win, and they have been there all year. Pre-season, I said Diamond Creek will win the flag, and easy to say that they were red hot favourite really, but Whittlesey coming down was always going to be the battle. I think they're 1-1 going into it. I can't separate the two. I can't
separate the top three. Honestly, I can't separate the top three. I reckon all three are deserving, and I think all three can win. It may come down to a moment. It may come down to a shot at goal. Who gets in there first? I mean, 3 doesn't go into 2, does it? So someone's going to be missing out. But I think that if you had to sit here today, I still think Whittlesey are favourites. But I tell you, for me, Diamond Creek are breathing down the neck. South Morang's breathing down the neck. But I think South Morang getting the 2 big boys back will make a big difference. So it'll be a different final series for sure.
I think the biggest scary part of all of that is you've still got what are those boys' name who sing that song "Endless Love"? What is it? It's still got JD and Cal Backus to come back into that South Morang side, getting 2 experienced VFL players into a Division 2 side at the right time. Now, rumour is they are going to walk out to the song "Endless Love." They're going to hold hands when they walk onto the ground. So I might try and jump in the back seat, like that famous guy who films them and sees what really goes on there. But no,
might be a third wheel, though, mate. They might want a third wheel.
An amazing final series. Bonners, who wins from Watsonia, Lorimer? Just off the bat, we'll talk about it in depth Wednesday night. Lorimer, get up.
I think there's one side that is settled, and there's one club that are just trying to find themselves again, ready for next year. For me, Jimmy Atkins is really, I reckon they've learnt so much in the first half of the year. Second half of the year, they've been competitive. I mean, even on the weekend, if they hadn't got jumped, they've beaten them for the last 3 quarters. I was following it as well. But it was, I think that they just have, I really think that, and I'm not taking away from anything from Watsy or that, but I just get that hunger of Lorimer to say, well, we have to stay up. We need to have a better year next year, and we know what we need to do. I'm just a more settled club. I reckon Lorimer win.
Jimmy has re-signed. Jimmy Atkins has re-signed at Lorimer. Josh Leather, Caden Arthur. They're starting to release. They've got their stars back next year. Some good kids coming through. They'll go chasing a few this year. I reckon Jimmy will, but I'm not tipping them at all until all this is over. But Jimmy, I reckon you will get done. And I don't know if I really mean that, but you'll get done. I'm not allowed to tip him. He won't have it. Right. Okay. Division 2 out of the way. Before we get to Divi 1, just very quickly, Bonners Wednesday night, we're out with 5 absolute living legends to create we're not creating, but to interview these boys and speak to them as they put all the names out onto the table for the first time. I think I have around about 80 or 90 names so far, and I know the boys have got a fair few names to go in there, but there are some superstar names coming through, and the clubs that haven't sent me their names yet, I'm going to be as nice as I can here. Don't come whinging to me that your players weren't considered if you didn't put them in as a club. So please get them in. I'm going to extend it all the way to Wednesday before the show for you to get it through to me. A couple of clubs have reached out and said, sorry, we're just waiting to get hold of the right people. No dramas. And everybody else that wants to put forward players, do it on the Facebook page or inboxes. But we got Rob Bolson is going to coach all the 5 lads, and we're going to interview them all, and you guys will help guide them. But, we've obviously got Ray Shaw Wednesday night. Vinny Dottoli, Wednesday night. Gary Massey, superstar. I spoke with Robbie's dad yesterday and I asked his dad, how do I pronounce your last name? And I've forgotten it, but we'll go with Moyanara. Am I close?
Yeah.
Mayorana.
No.
I cannot get that right. And who have I forgotten there? Did I say Ray Shaw? Jason Heatley. Heatley as well. So huge live show led by the great man Rob Bolson as well. So and yourself. I know you're involved with that with Bolzo. It's going to be good, and I'm just going to do the interview and pretend I know something as usual. All right, let's get to Division 1, Bonners. I trekked down to Bundoora, as I do each week. It's no secret that I follow the Bulls. Popped down to watch them in Banyule yesterday. Few late changes before the game for Bundy, but and some big outs. Sam Philp didn't get up. He was supposed to play. Unfortunately, some injuries. Some other boys out as well. But Bundoora got the job done, 12-9-81, and probably ended Banyule's season for mine, 6-15, 51. At one stage, Banyule were 1-11.
Yeah. And that's been the big problem all year. Yeah, I just felt like, I think I spoke about the Heidelberg game, had every opportunity to win, kick 1 goal 7. So I hope it doesn't come and bite them. I mean, it's between really them and, Greensy to get that final spot. So this is a game that it might come back to haunt them. So no disrespect to Bundoora, as we don't disrespect anyone. We just believe that my number one rule, if you're trying to play finals, you're trying to make finals, you can't lose to teams below you. You have to start to push forward. So it makes it a big deal. I think they've got North Heidelberg last game, Banyule. Next week they've got West Preston, from my understanding, as well at West Preston. So, it's going to be a hard, tough slog to get into that final 6. So
have a look at that ladder, because Banyule can't afford another one. They're on equal points. They're only a game out of 4th, but Hurstbridge getting a win, which we'll get to shortly. It makes it tough.
Yep.
Greensy went down, which is the only thing that really helped Banyule there. But, I'm sure I'm going to tip my hat for something. I go to the Bundy game each week, obviously, but I try to float between coaches' boxes as a Northern Footy Show guy, not as a Bundoora guy. Hats off to Ricky Dyson and your good mate Harrow. One gave me a bit of time before the game to have a chat. Fantastic gentlemen, both of them. But the way they speak to their players, Bonners, is I was a little bit in awe, to be honest. The way they communicated with them was simply outstanding. Coaches can only do so much. They can't help them kick 1-11. They've got to do that themselves. To turn that into 11-1, and that is a different game at halftime. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember the same going the same, because for me it was they put the onus back on the players. And I think as a coach that you need the involvement of players. They go in there, okay, where do we think we went wrong? What's the parts? And then give them feedback, which is exactly what they should. Ricky Dyson, a very experienced ex-AFL footballer. He's got the parade boys. Paul Harris, he's been a champion of local footy for so many years. Well-regarded Ivanhoe, well-regarded Old Paradians, assistant coach for Ricky Dyson when they won the premiership, got Banyule up into Divi 1. So got all the credentials. So I'm not going to sit back and think that they won't be disappointed. They'll be pretty disheartened by what's happened the last few weeks, but still got the chance to play finals footy. You'll find out what your medal is, and you'll definitely be in there because you deserve it. So, I think their coaching's great as well.
I did get the chance to meet Ricky Dyson's dad before the game with another great, Darren Collins, and had a good chat with him. And what an outstanding bloke he is as well, and very much universally loved around the ground. So for his football credentials as well. All right, moving over to Hurstbridge, Greensboro. Hurstbridge 11-18-84. A lot of inaccurate kicking there again, but 10-8-68. They took care of Greensboro, got the job done by 16 points. That's a big win for Hurstbridge, because all of a sudden I actually thought Hurstbridge, don't send me in hate mail, boys. I thought Hurstbridge were going to be the side in trouble going into this one. Now they've gone 4 points up. They've got a heaps better percentage than Banyule. So if it comes down to just points, Hurstbridge are going to hold on. And after Greensy beating Heidelberg last week, Matty, I think that was probably their most important win of the year for Hurstbridge, and good on them. Had a lot of stars back as well. Before we do that, Craig Dyson could play also. Peter Westbury said, look, I didn't realise that until yesterday. He's an outstanding man. I really enjoyed that chat with him and Colo, and here's the great man himself, Darren Collins. Great pressure by the Bulls, though, yesterday. Daz Matt, you were under pressure for 3 quarters. Absolutely. I didn't really get to finish on that. I thought the kids that stood up yesterday, or the players that stood up yesterday, were fantastic. Daz won't like me saying this, but his little fella, Josh Collins, which is Luke's younger brother, he was outstanding. His first half, I had him best on ground. I thought he created space, got rid of the ball quick and clean. For me, that was Josh Collins' best game I've ever seen him play. But he has played the last 2 or 3 weeks. He's been outstanding. I sent him a little private message yesterday because he's really battled to get that spot on that side. He deserved it, and he's taken his opportunity. That's what you want, isn't it, Bonners? Really, you want him to take it when it's in front.
Well, you want the next generation, don't you? I mean, you're starting to rebuild the side. They're not going to play finals, Bundur, so you need to find what your cattle is, and you got to know what the kids are doing. So throw them in the deep end, see if they can swim, and yeah, just if that's what he's done yesterday, then I think these are the guys that are going to be, to get those games under their belt and have another pre-season, I think is invaluable for some of these young guys.
Well, Bundur is safe now. They cannot pop out to relegation zone, in my opinion, because McLeod would have to win both games, which they've got 2 tough games coming up, and they'd have to win them by 100 points or something each. So it's not going to happen. So Hurstbridge and Greensy, well done, Hursty. Tip my hat off to you. Yes, you had the Wild boys back and a couple of other stars in the side, but, it's all about getting these boys back at the right time of the season, and the destination club could actually be even more a destination club if they're there on the final week in September. So well done to them. Greensy will bounce back from this. I'm certain about that. So Heidelberg, West Preston, holy baloli, Batman. I don't know what's going on there because West Preston beat Bundoora the week before and have come out and lost by 141 points, Matty, to Heidelberg, who kicked 26-15. So if you want a lesson on how to kick, go and see Vin down at Vita. 26-15, 171 to West Preston, 4-6-30. That is shellacking.
Yeah, and it just shows an aberration the week before, doesn't it? So coming in red hot, I mean, the kick in the pants sometimes does more than going through undefeated. So I think they copped the kick, they got on with life, realised what they needed to do, and then, they've just, and poor West Preston's copped the brunt of their return to form.
Now, McLeod moving to the next game went down 16-7, 97, and Montmorency 22-16, 148. But that doesn't tell the story of the game. At 3-quarter time, it was tied up. So Mont got their skates on and ran away. I did say a little while ago, I think Monty's the only side. At the start of the year, Monty's the side to beat McLeod. To beat Heidelberg. But I actually do think North Heidelberg and Monty can both beat them on the day, especially with the Parker factor there. So Monty got the job done. Well done, Monty. This is what you have to do, Monty, to get to that next level and break this curse of not being able to get it done when it matters. But that's a huge win, 40 points for them. I reckon Greensboro probably went in favourite to that game. So Monty have stood up tall there, 123 percentage points, can still finish second. And they'll be happy with where they're at, I reckon, mate. So Monty's
second, third, it's not going to make a big difference, really, is it? So it's you still play the same team the following week. But for me, as I said, I'm a big fan of percentage because I feel like that's a true indication of your firepower and your defense. You're going to lose a couple of games here and there, but to be 128%, I think just shows how the quality of the football team. So if they get their skates on, then they could be the heir apparent. So
don't disappear just yet because we're going to finish with the lookalikes after we finish this last couple of games. So then North Heidelberg, Eltham. North Heidelberg, Eltham were with them all day. They were in front for most of the day, Eltham, I was following it on Play HQ and texting a few guys over there, and 15-14, 104 North Heidelberg to Eltham, 10-13, 73. Again, tip my hat to Eltham. Great season so far. It shows they're second last on the ladder here. It's just not a fair judgment of where they are. Them and Bundoora on 16 points and could easily be a season where they set high. It's a huge pass for me for them and a huge pass season for Bundoora. They've gone and bled a lot of kids through this year. So I think that's great. And they've got a few injuries at the wrong time of the year, but not that it matters. They're not going to play finals. But North Heidelberg, fantastic game. And they make that statement. Where do they sit now? Second on the ladder. Clear by a game. Percentage isn't as high as Monty. That's the only risk factor there. But as you said, it doesn't matter. Second, third, who gives a crap? You're going to play each other come week one anyway. We know that now. So well done to them. All right. Again, don't forget about Wednesday night. Now, Bonners. Lookalikes were pretty popular a couple of weeks ago, right? Very, very popular. Now, I'm gonna go through this one first. Now, the great man, Brian Moore, I think the most decorated umpire in NFNL history. He's a good friend of mine. I love him. He actually umpired my first ever game of football when I was 16, and I think he was about 70 then. So he's probably 103 now. But what do you reckon about this one for the great man, Brian Moore? Ben Kingsley is, I reckon Ben Kingsley's got him. Brian is in fantastic nick, guy, for a guy who's just over 130 years old. He still shows up every week, serves behind the bar. He's going to thump me when he sees me next time. Yeah. Behind the bar, heavily involved down at Diamond Creek Footy Club, and in my opinion, the best guy to ever umpire football. His camaraderie with everyone was amazing. Now, my little mate Pete Dawson. All right, so I put up this morning that Juddy will be in our lookalikes, and he was very excited. So he's going to love this one, Bonners. So we've got Lee Judd and Prince Harry, and he was knighted by the great man Peter Dawson. I was surprised how much he looks like him. He's actually
not bad, is it?
Yeah. So we'll now next year refer to him as the Prince of Epping. I think that one might stick. Now, I didn't have this guy in here. I've put him in as a bit of a, and he'll be pretty happy with his Elmsy. Our own great man, Kevin Elms. He wasn't supposed to be in here, but I found this one today and whacked it in. So what was the name of that show he was in? Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso. Yeah. There's a little bit of similarity there. Elmsy will be happy with that. Yeah, I was gonna put in Elmer Fudd, but we didn't. We went with Jason Sudeikis. So well done, and I love this one. This one I didn't have to cheat in any way to find this out. Sam Rex Happy is a huge unit. Do you agree, Mr. Bonadeo?
I do. A very, very intimidating human being.
He is intimidating indeed, and I know you were watching this movie today. We spoke about it a bit earlier. Sam, you'll love this. The Great Gladiator. There is so much similarity between these two. And I reckon if they met, Bonners, if these two met out in that gladiator field, I reckon Sam would only have to kick the ball into the gladiator's head and it would be all over because he kicks that ball and it stays kicked. Now, we've got two here. Here's the great man, Luke Collins. Now, everyone knows that Luke's my favourite player in the league by a country mile. I'd have him on the duffel coat, but Brandon would kill me. Hayden Christensen, I see a bit of similarity there. He's got to be pretty happy with that, Luke. But there's more. Okay, let me show you this. I found it on TikTok today, so I'm not breaking any rules. Here we go. Here's a highlight of the great Luke Collins yesterday. All right, here he comes. He's just being held off the ball there. He takes off as he does. He's an absolute freak, this guy. And I think he got decapitated. So his head is 100% gone. So we've released his lookalike. I went and seen him after the game, and I said, Colo, how you doing? And he didn't answer. And I'm like, why? Because his head was totally removed. If he is not the toughest player in the league, Bonners, I will go he. Now, since I announced today we were going to do a bit of a lookalike, I've had about 7 or 8 people send me, look, Sam's happy about this. He's a happy man. I knew you'd like that, Sammy.
His new nickname's Maximus.
We'll change him next year, Sam. Yeah. Was it Maximus?
Max Decimus Cerilius.
Oh, there you go. You've done well to remember.
I've just watched the damn show, so you think I'd actually listen.
We'll have to refer to him as Maximus Rex Happy next year. That's going to stick. No dramas there at all. And I've had a lot of people send in some recommendations on text and that this afternoon for lookalikes. So they've been a bit of a hit. We're going to stay with them each week as we lead up as well. I'm sure there's a couple more to come out for you as well, Bonners. Bonners, that is our Sunday wrap-up, under 45 minutes. We're trying to do it. Wednesday night, we are going to Bundoora and we're doing a show with those 5 guys,
Yep.
as we try to put together the side of yesteryear, which is all the DVFL legends. And we're also going to try and put, or the boys are, they're going to put together the side of today. I wanted to give a shout out. There's a few birthdays coming up this week, but we might do it Wednesday. I know that it's Jaden Kearney's tomorrow. Someone else's I've forgotten. I've got to put
one out. I've got to put one out. It's the wife's birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday. Took her out this weekend. That's why I couldn't get to the football. So I'll give her a big shout out.
Yeah, well done. Happy birthday. What, she 23 or 24 now, Bonners?
She's 23 plus X. And X is not the variable. It should be a constant for her, but it is a variable.
All right, guys, we will see you live Wednesday night when we're out there speaking to the 5 legends. Until then, keep kicking goals. See you later, and thanks for